Merry Christmas, everybody. Just wanted to give you all some last-minute charitable gifting strategies that might be helpful for you in this year and in the coming years. With the new tax law in place, we decided we wanted to give you guys a few tips on how to do your charitable gifting in a little bit more efficient way. Some of the changes that have happened will affect the way that you give to your different charities, and the incentives have changed so that different strategies may be more beneficial to you from a tax standpoint. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the deduction lumping strategy. Because of the new tax law, the standard deduction has increased for married couples filing jointly to $24,400. And so if you normally give about $10,000 a year to charity, and you write off your mortgage interest deduction that you get every year, and you pay your state and local taxes, those are the three big deductions that people will take in a given year. The state and local tax deduction is capped at $10,000. And so if you give $10,000, you pay, say, $8,000 in state and local taxes, and then your mortgage interest is $6,000, your total deductions equal $24,000. Well, if you only give $10,000 per year, you're not really getting any benefit from your charitable gifting from a tax standpoint. And so the strategy that we would recommend is for you to lump your deductions together if it's possible, and it's not always possible in every situation. But if you could give $20,000 in year one and then not give the money in year two, but take all the deduction of $20,000 in year one, you would give $20,000 in year one and deduct $20,000 in charitable gifting. You would deduct $8,000 in state and local taxes and deduct $6,000 in mortgage interest, as an example. And this strategy will give you an additional $2,000 to $3,000 in tax savings, again, depending on your bracket, depending on how much income you make. But it's a great strategy for a lot of people that they may be able to take advantage of. One tool in this strategy is the donor advised fund. What it allows you to do is in year one, if you give your normal $10,000 like you normally do, and then towards the end of the year, you give another $10,000 for year two, you could put the money in the donor advised fund and then give it out over the next year instead of giving it all at one time at the end of year one. Along the lines of the donor advised fund, another benefit of the tax laws, the way they are written, and this has been in place for a while, is that you can give appreciated assets. So say you bought Walmart stock way back and you have a very low basis in it and the value is way up from what you paid for it. The benefit of this is that you get to take a full deduction for the amount that you give, you recognize no gains, and so it's a very tax efficient way to fund your donor advised fund. Another important part of our tax code that is a great opportunity for people who are in RMD status or required minimum distribution status with their IRA is that instead of taking the distribution from your IRA directly, you can direct your IRA to give the money to a charity of your choice. This is called the Qualified Charitable Distribution. And so just a couple things about this, just so that you know and don't fall into any traps that can keep you from fully utilizing this strategy. So if you're in RMD status, the IRS will allow you to distribute from your IRA directly to the charity of your choice the amount up to your RMD. A couple of things that you have to be aware of, though, is that the money cannot go from you to the charity. It has to go directly from the IRA to the charity. So if it comes to you, that's not going to work. It won't work that way. It has to go directly from your IRA to the charity. Another thing is that, let's say your RMD is $10,000 and you've already taken your $10,000 RMD for this year, but you think at the end of the year you want to give some money from your IRA to a charity. Well, you can't do that. It has to be the first money that comes out of your IRA in order for it to qualify as a charitable contribution, or the QCD, Qualified Charitable Distribution. And so you could, if you had a $10,000 RMD and you've only taken $5,000 out, you could give $5,000 to a charity, distribute out $5,000 to a charity of your choice, and that would work. But it has to be the first money that comes out is considered to be your RMD. And once you go past your RMD, any additional distributions are going to be taxable and can't be used for the Qualified Charitable Distribution. So just be aware of that. Another thing that we need to be sure we understand is that In the first point, we talked about the donor advised funds. You may not transfer your qualified charitable distribution from your IRA to a donor advised fund. It has to go directly to a charity. Another strategy for thinking about how to give in a tax efficient way is in estate planning. If you are considering leaving some of your estate to a charity, one of the best options for a lot of people is to leave your regular IRA or part of your regular IRA to a charity of your choice. And so along with your regular beneficiaries that you have, if you're going to leave it to your kids or to your spouse, you could say that a certain percentage of your regular IRA could be left to a particular charity of your choice. And that's a very good way to leave money to your charity that you like, because if you leave it to a spouse or to your children, they will eventually have to pay taxes on that money, whereas a charity gets to take the money without paying any taxes on it. So it's a really tax efficient way to leave money to your favorite charity in your estate. Just want to give you a disclaimer, I'm not an accountant. This is not tax advice. If you want to implement any of these strategies, you'll need to talk to your CPA or another tax professional.